Yo, what's good? So, this is kind of a thumbnail breakdown that I'm gonna do. Not really much of an intro, not really much editing here. I'm just gonna kind of literally live do the thumbnail. So literally anything could happen here. I'm gonna use like very minimal editing just to show y'all like literally exactly like break it down step by step how I do this. And yeah, hopefully this should be pretty cool. I mean, I don't do a whole lot of gaming thumbnails anymore, so I figured this would help for the people who are still on that sort of side of things. So first of all, we have this. This is a Clicks picture, a raw one, and I put this little watermark over here just in case, you know, they don't want that getting leaked. So I did this to it just now. It's some basic camera raw, things like that. You know, I just went into camera raw, and honestly, what I'm gonna do here is just like kind of go in here and just kind of show you what I do. I just kind of turn the texture up, turn highlights down, shadows up right here, kind of maybe mess around with the exposure a little bit. I'm gonna cancel that since I kind of already like how this looks. But yeah, that's kind of what I got here. So the next thing is, if I go to his Discord, he says he kind of wants like a blue gradient type deal. So we're gonna go right here and just take a brush, black background, right? So we can probably keep that for this. We're just gonna go and make a little brush right here. Maybe do another brush on another layer and make that like a linear dodge type deal, like right here. I am also a little bit on the clock, so if I go a little fast, then I apologize. I'm just kind of, you know, having to do this quickly. So the next thing that I kind of see here, let's go ahead and do the text. So I'm going to use Burbank Big Regular right here. Make it white, and I'm going to say NA Eval Cup right here. In the big text. Actually, I might turn this to condensed because it looks like a little bit of a weird font choice here. Maybe a little bit. No. Go back to Burbank Big Regular and then do that. There we go. I think that's what it looks like. So we're gonna put this right here, and we are going to rasterize it. We are going to put some perspective on it and kind of turn it this way. Use that little anchor point right there and just kind of move it out a little bit. And then I'm gonna make a little blending thing here. A layer style, my bad. Make it a drop shadow, kind of use these settings that I'm putting on it right here, and voila, you have kind of the text on top. So now the next thing is I'm gonna make the sort of thing right here. So let me screenshot it, kind of copy and paste it so you guys can see what I'm looking at here. So, oh, wait, hold on. It's not really working for some reason. Let me get this right. There we go. So, this is what we're looking at here, and I'm going to kind of recreate this. So, for this thumbnail, since that's kind of the branding style they want to go with at the moment, so I'm just going to take this pen tool and, you know, go over it this way, do sort of this thing to it, and sort of make that an anchor point. Right there. And I'm gonna do a drop shadow like that. So basically then I'm gonna do this little thing here. It's gonna be a hashtag sign right here, like the little number sign. I'm gonna show y'all how to make that. So I think this is Burbank Big Condensed, I'm pretty sure. So let's change that over. Sort of like that. Burbank Big Condensed, black. And I'm gonna kind of mess around with this a little bit too. So I'm gonna rasterize this, merge this as a group, and I'm gonna distort it. I know I'm going pretty fast, so I apologize, but so now I kind of have sort of the same look going. Now, as far as the actual layer style itself, I'm going to move it down so you can kind of see this as I'm working on it. So I'm going to kind of copy this gradient. It's a gradient overlay that he's got. So let's kind of fix that the same way. It's probably -90 here. Inner shadow. I'm going to do 90 degrees here. I think that looks good. And then kind of the same way down here. I actually just realized that it's he got second place, so let me fix that real quick. But the layer style is still the same. I'm just gonna copy and paste the layer style here. So I'm just using distort here, just kind of getting the angle looking right, kind of like this, and copy and paste here. And I'm also just gonna add another one of these and probably just do a color overlay. Make that black and kind of move it here. Let me take these inner shadows off, and yeah, that should be kind of close there. I'll move it down a little bit. Yeah, like that, something kind of like that there. So there's that number 2, and so now I've got to add, so it's what, xset clicks, Yamzo Higgs right there. We're gonna kind of blow it up a little bit as well. Let me see how many. So this is the point where I actually pull up the leaderboard and I look at how many points they got. They got 428 points, so I'm gonna throw that on here. 428. And so as far as the little American flag thing goes, what I do here is I just make a sort of thing like that there, right? A little circle, move it to the center, and I'm gonna go ahead and look up an American flag. Let me do this on my work thing so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. So American flag, and we're gonna just copy and paste. Gonna kind of move this over this way, and voila, now we kind of have the whole placement thing in place. And I might mess around with this one a little bit. I'm not totally thrilled with how that looks right now. Maybe size this up a little bit. I don't know, kind of like that. Usually I just do a drop shadow. For some reason I just kind of wanted to do the color overlay, so just kind of deal with it. And I do think I probably should have just made this a now I'm thinking about it, I probably should have just made this a one of these, and move it right there so I could kind of show you how to get this whole effect in one go, this little distortion effect that you see. So I'm gonna just kind of move all these in one group. Again, we're gonna merge the layers and kind of move it. Actually, wait, I think this rectangle is a little wide for my liking. So, there we go. And let's move this, these points down too. I don't really like how high up they are. Like that. That's perfect right there. Do that right there, perspective, and let's kind of move it right there. So right now we've got, let's see, where's the clicks picture at? We've got this so far, right? So pretty solid. Let me just kind of see. It's kind of similar to what we've sort of had on here, except I am noticing that this one has Clix's name a little smaller. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna literally just make it a little smaller so you can actually see Clix's name, and then kind of do that too. It's a little lazy, but we've already like rasterized all this. So yeah, there we go. So we have that kind of done. Now the next thing is I'm gonna kind of make a little overlay here. So this is gonna be for the other placements on the board. So we're gonna kind of do this here. Make one kind of that dark navy, but then we're gonna have one that's like contrasting, and then one going back down here. So again, this is the part where usually I go look up like the actual placements. So you're gonna see me kind of reference that the whole time. So we have 3. We have 3. And then 4. Actually, these are a little big. I don't know if it's supposed to be that big, but those are a little big for my liking. We have 3, 4, and 5 right here, right? So we're gonna go look up what the placements are. So it looks like in 3rd we had let's see, we had Victor V, right? Victor V, Epic Whale, okay, Paper FN. So we're just gonna kind of size down the spacing and move it over this way, like so. Same thing here, we're just gonna copy and paste. 4th would be Noxy Void Eshu, I think is his name. I don't really know a lot of these newer people. I just put them on the leaderboard. 5th, we have, let's see, we have Orgzy. I have no clue who any of these people are. If you want me to be honest, I have no idea. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to move these back, kind of space them like this, so that, you know, it's not like super overlapping and everything. Now we got to do the placement points over here. So they got, let's see, 364. They got number 4th place got 319, and 5th place got 303. And we're gonna copy and paste that little thing that I made earlier, the little American flag thing that I did. Now, a lot of this stuff that I'm doing, you don't really have to do it this specific way that I'm doing, but, you know, I just kind of like to do it in my own way. You know, I've had the ways that I do it for a while, and I feel like I kind of differ from a lot of other people in that way, but, you know, I just kind of do whatever feels natural to me, so, you know, it's nothing insane. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all this in one big group, and I'm going to duplicate it, merge it, and bring some perspective to it, kind of like so. Maybe stretch it out a little bit, and then I'm gonna do a little overlay on it. So let me see, sort of like this, but less opacity, and maybe a little bit of a screen effect, just a little bit like this. I think that would look really solid, sort of like that. Yeah, so that looks really good in my opinion. That looks a lot like the reference as well. So now I guess the main thing is I'm gonna go back and sort of refine this picture a little bit. So maybe sharpen it a little bit. I'm gonna go back and change some of these camera raw settings so you can see a little bit of what I do here. It's not a ton. I keep a lot of my faces very minimal. That's just like a personal preference. But I do like to have them sort of pop out. Now here's the thing that I don't think I did on the original. So this is how I whiten sort of teeth or eyes or something like that. Let me see. Oh, that was the spot healing brush, my bad. So I'm just gonna kind of paint over these, sort of do it that way. There we go. There we go. And obviously I don't want it that bright because it just looks like crazy. So you're gonna turn the opacity down a little bit, and that gives it that sort of nice, you know, kind of pop out look. Maybe not even that much. I'd say like right there is probably good. So that's sort of the basics of the background done. Now I do kind of want to go find some assets to kind of splice this up, or kind of not splice this up, spice this up a little bit. So I'm gonna go on Fortnite.gg/assets. I think that's what it still is. Yeah, there we go. And I'm gonna go on, let's see, I'm gonna go on Fortnite UI, or maybe not that. Let's look up some backgrounds or something. I think they changed how this looks, so it's a little odd how they kind of have it right now, but let me go. Oh, wait, sorry, wrong thing. And I'm gonna go to background and sort of look up something. I think this could look cool if it were kind of spliced in there. So let's sort of do that. Let's kind of add that to the back. Nothing crazy here, just like that might be a little much, honestly. Let's turn the opacity down a little bit on this. Sort of like that, just something. And let's see. Just gonna look up some other things. Maybe this. This is looking pretty solid. So again, just kind of adding these sort of light touches really goes a long way in my opinion. Nothing too crazy. I don't want anything that compromises this too much, so I'm gonna kind of chill out a little bit. I might actually change up this glow a little bit. Now I'm thinking about it, maybe add a little bit of white here. It's kind of to, you know, give it that sort of. Why am I clicking all this random stuff? Hold on, I'm sorry, y'all. I am literally the worst about clicking random apps. Yeah, I think this is pretty solid, honestly. I mean, it's pretty simple, nothing crazy, but we did kind of do this thumbnail in the way that we want. One thing is I might go in this one little PSD that I have, and I might go grab sort of motion lines that I've got. So I think I used them at some point on Clix's stuff. Let me go look here. Or actually, I know I used it on one of my Savage thumbnails I did like a way back. So I'm gonna figure out where that is. So on February 15th, y'all are gonna get to see one of the best parts about thumbnail design, which is copy and paste from other thumbnails that you made. We're gonna kind of do that there. And so I got these from some sort of pack. I don't even remember which pack it was, but it was cool, and so I kind of stole those. And so yeah, just kind of those touches right there. I am actually gonna do something with this where I'm gonna kind of clip this out so that's a little easier to see this. So yeah, I think this is pretty solid, honestly. I mean, I would personally click on this. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of take this whole thumbnail, we're gonna merge the group together, and I'm gonna kind of make this to where I copied this layer, I merged the group, I copied the layer, pasted it, and then undid all that and pasted it again. So that kind of makes this layer on top of a group. Now I'm gonna go into filter and camera raw and kind of do my final little camera raw touches that I usually do. So I usually just go back over everything and sort of touch it up, make it look a little cleaner, sort of like this, just kind of enhance all the colors. And yeah, that should be a finalized thumbnail. That should be ready to send over. Nothing crazy. I usually export as a JPEG in 720p if you're wondering those settings. Let's switch those over. And I'm gonna keep recording just in case any revisions come my way, just so that y'all are not sort of, you know, because that's a part of design. So I'm literally gonna send it over live. This is kind of crazy. I've sort of never done one of these, but yeah, I just sent it over. Let's see what he thinks. And yeah, it's pretty much it as far as like the main thumbnail creation, unless he has anything to say. So I'll kind of keep you posted. So the manager just pretty much DM'd me and said, yeah, this is fire, this is great. So yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. I mean, I pretty much showed you literally from scratch, like started everything. And this is basically how I make a thumbnail. Like literally I do this almost every time I make a thumbnail for Clix or like one of my other Fortnite clients that I occasionally work with. I don't really work with a ton of people in Fortnite outside of Clix, but you know, just kind of making this tutorial for you guys, and hope this really helped with your Fortnite thumbnail journey. If it did, I'd appreciate a like and subscribe. Go follow me on all my other socials because you know, I'm a lot more active there. And yeah, this is really fun. I'm planning on doing more of these in the future. And yeah, thank you and have a great rest of your day. Peace out.